whether this agreement was a government
briefing I have. This was a GBC government arrangement through the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Finance. That is the briefing that I have.
Very well. So, yes, because we can see a new GRA head office, which edifice has been built, and we know in the public space that the Ministry of Finance is actually moving there. So if you're able to pursue it, I think it's a prime land. I don't know whether it's going to cost some $20 million or $30 million. That will help a great deal. Good. The Speaker, may I know from the Honorable Minister, in view of his detailed explanation regarding the state of equipment, he says that a lot of the equipment are obsolete, analog equipment. He also talks about the studio and then transmission equipment being very old. Now, having shared that challenge with us, may I know from him what plans the ministry has put in place to provide technological infrastructure or create a digital migration platform necessary to enable GBC compete with private broadcasters in today's high-speed multimedia environment.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, GBC primarily functions on the basis of its IGF. Indeed, if you look at the budget that's presented to this House, even though IGF is public funds, GBC is allowed to keep it for its operation. But this has proven over the years to be inadequate to meet their demands. It was the reason why they entered into that land swap arrangement with the GRA and Ministry of Finance to raise some revenue to be able to invest in their operations. I see that arrangement, if properly rationalized, offers potential for generating significant revenue, because GBC has a lot of assets that at the moment remain underutilized. And if they were to structure the way that these arrangements are made, they could lay hands on significant resources to invest in their operations. Another avenue that they could use is the monetization of their content. I'm sure the minority leader is aware that GBC, which in the past had 1 or 2 channels, I beg your pardon, now has 6 different channels. Their law enforces an obligation for them to be a public service broadcaster. So they are not allowed to monetize the content. In other words, they must operate as a free-to-air broadcaster. The chunk of their revenue comes from advertising, but that is not enough. So discussions are ongoing to see how GBC can be structured in a way that they meet the public service broadcast obligation, but are able to monetize other channels. For instance, they have a GTV Sports Plus channel. If there is some reform, some amendment, I beg your pardon, in their legislation, that channel, for example, can be monetized in that well-created sporting content can be placed there and a fee charged for viewers to access. They also have content that have stood the test of time, which viewers would like to have replayed. Now, they could put this content on channels that viewers can pay to watch, and through that they can generate significant revenues to finance their operations, whilst not compromising their public service broadcast obligations. But these are discussions that are currently ongoing, and we hope that they come to fruition so that GBC will become self-sustaining. Because we are, as a government, we do not believe that putting central government funds into GBC is a sustainable. Government pays for the salary of the 1,150 workers of GBC. That, for me, should be the extent to which government goes in terms of putting central government funding into GBC. The rest has to be taken care of through internally generated funds. And these are some of the ways that this could be done. I thank you very much, Mr.
Yes, Honorable Minister, the Honorable Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister has raised an issue of content production, and he's dwelled very much on that. Then specifically, I want to know What strategies, therefore, is he going to put in place to improve the content production capacity of GBC, to make it attractive to the younger audience and commercially competitive in the digital space?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it all boils down to the availability of resources. If GBC has resources, they will be able to produce world-class content. For instance, the minority leader would notice that during the last qualifying window of the Black Stars, GTV did not show the Black Star matches, the World Cup qualifiers, live. But it was shown on international media. It was GBC that did the production. They rented OB vans because they had a contractual agreement with FIFA. And they were able to create this content and give it to the international media. It met international standards, and there was no difficulty with the quality. The quality was of the highest possible quality. But they could not show it locally because they did not have the money, $750,000, to purchase the rights to show to the people of Ghana. So GBC has shown that they have the capacity to create world-class content. What is left is for them to be able to have adequate resources to further enhance this capacity and make it attractive to the Ghanaian viewing public, such that people will be willing to spend some money to watch that content. These days, there are models all over the world, Netflix, Prime Video, and what have you. All they do is they spend money to produce this content, and people are eager to watch, and so they are prepared to pay something small. Now, this would be in lieu of TV license, which is difficult to collect, given that they are a free-to-air, broadcaster. There's also difficulties with the collection mechanism. And to the extent that people are not willing to pay, it becomes a bit difficult to mobilize revenue around it. But if you have content that is attractive and people are willing to pay to access it, it is a good way to generate revenue. So we believe that once we are able to have serious discussions with GBC, get them to leverage some of the assets they have, generate adequate capital, invest in content, I believe that the public will come on board and they will generate even more revenue to be able to do their work. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, the heart of the government plan in ensuring efficiency and competitiveness at GBC is human resource capacity. Therefore, a question that begs for an answer is this. In view of all you have narrated, have you in place a strategy in ensuring retention of skilled media professionals amidst this increasing competition from private broadcasters? Have you that in place?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I would imagine that GBC has a competitive edge when it comes to remuneration in the industry. As I indicated, government pays GBC's workers. I doubt if there are many private broadcast organizations that have the financial muscle to meet the wages of workers in the manner that GBC is able to do. But of course, once GBC itself is able to realize enough revenue, they will be in a position to give incentives to their workers so that they can attract the highest possible quality of human resources.
Honorable Minister, I'm a private sector oriented person, so I support.
So, Leader, this is the last one.
Yeah, that is so.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, I prepared for 5 supplementary.
Oh, you have your prepared supplementary questions.
Mr. Speaker,
So that is why it's flowing.
Mr. Speaker, one way to be effective in this chamber is to prepare. Else you will be taken off guard. You have to always prepare. And when you prepare, you are able to deliver.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, that was a training given to us.
Yes.
That at the bar, when you prepare,
Exactly.
you're able to stand all attacks.
Exactly.
Mr. Speaker, without doubt, our brother, you know, let's put politics aside. He's a good fellow.
Yes.
So you need to prepare and punch him well. Yes, Mr. Speaker, come on. I mean, Empio Binasama, Yanasa Kakra. I mean, Felix is a good fellow. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the minister if he says that the state would have to be careful, or we should proceed with caution over investing state funds. So I agree with that. In view of that position, which I agree with, may I know from the Honorable Minister, by way of clarification, whether there is any plan to restructure GBC's financing model to reduce the dependency on the limited public funds and whilst enhancing commercial viability from what he's just said. Because he tells us that yes, indeed, there is overdependency on the state and state resources are limited. I looked at the budget for your ministry, very, paltry sum. So, what financing models are you looking at for GBC to make them viable and to some extent independent, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I believe I've already answered that question. If you look at the budget, with the exception of compensation, which the state pays, nothing goes into GBC. All the other sources of funding comes from GBC's own internally generated funds. They are responsible for their own capex. They are responsible for their own goods and services budget. So, and that has been so for about 2 decades. But as I indicated, through effective monetization of contents and proper utilization of the value of their assets, they should be able to generate significant revenue to invest in their operations. And once that is done, I trust that they will be able to compete favorably with any other media organization anywhere in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Jerry.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've done so well, but there are a few ones. No. GBC is our constituency. GBC is a national constituency. Yes, I just want to find out if there is any performance monitoring framework in place to ensure that the public investments or reforms being rolled out at GBC are yielding any measurable results in audience share, advertising revenue, and national reach.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I believe those are matters best addressed by the National Media Commission, because as you may be aware, our constitution is such that it places direct oversight of GBC and other state media under the National Media Commission. Lately, there's also SIGA, which takes care of the interest of government. For us, in the Government Communication Office, which oversees the affairs of these state media on behalf of government, there's a limitation in terms of what you can do. You have to go through the National Media Commission. But since I assumed office as the Minister for Government Communication, all the reports I've received from GBC and indeed other state-owned media shows a decline in their performance. And the minority that was right when he spoke about the difficulties they are having, even procuring inputs into the production. If you go to Graphic Communication Group, New Times, GMA, and GBC itself, there are major difficulties there. But I guess that it is all a symptom of underinvestment and perhaps weak oversight over their operations. So we may need to do some restructuring and enhance monitoring and oversight. And we should overcome any hindrances in that regard if we do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my very last question has to do with the exemptions that the Honorable Minister talked about. Honorable Minister, are you in the position to initiate steps or proceedings to find GBC get some exemptions from the Ghana Revenue Authority, maybe with the support of Parliament? Because I believe that that would be a base for them to get some revenue So if you are even looking at about 18 million cedis that you talked about, that can easily be some cash GBC can have. Are you considering, and when do you intend to do so? Considering getting Parliament to support you get some exemptions for GBC, and when are you intending to do so?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Indeed, since assuming office, I've been inundated with requests from all state media. The Graphic Communication Group has raised concern, for instance, about newsprint and how expensive it is to bring in newsprint and clear them. Same with GBC. When they want to buy transmitters, they have to pay exorbitant duties at the ports. The same with Ghanaian Times. If they want to buy printing equipment, they face the same difficulty. So I have committed myself to engaging the Ministry of Finance and the GRE on this matter to make a strong case for these entities because they provide essential service. The enabling laws that set them up, whereas it was well-intentioned, also tends to cripple them a bit and makes them uncompetitive because they are competing in a very fast-evolving environment, and therefore they need to stay ahead of the curve. If they are state-owned organizations, what advantages are they deriving from that status compared to private organizations? And I believe that at least the request for tax exemptions should be heeded by the GRA and the Ministry of Finance. But I'm hopeful that we should make some progress, and I'll be on hand to brief the House on any progress made. And I trust that as the Honourable Member has indicated, we will get the full support of this House if such a request were ever to be put before us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, honourable members. We will bring question time to a close. We spent so much time on questions. So, Honourable Minister, on behalf of the House, let me thank you for attending upon the House to respond to questions from Osahini, the minority leader. You are hereby discharged. Leadership. Any indication?
Mr. Speaker, we have exhausted the day and we are in your hands for closure of the House. No, it's over 5. No, listen.
Mr. Speaker, in the order of seniority, when the majority leader is not there, it's the minority leader. That is a bona fide. So, Eche, I'm not going to fight you. Take it easy. Mr. Speaker, Eche must take it easy. Your boss is coming.
But yesterday, this issue was raised
Your
here.
boss is coming. Mr. Speaker.
Eche.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Eche.
His boss is. Mr. Speaker, we are not opposed to any adjournment. We are not. No, wait. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker has called me.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, they failed to do the 30%. Mr. Speaker, before the deputy whip of the majority side makes the application for adjournment. Mr. Speaker, yesterday our young kids, the BEC students, started their BEC, and we're going to make some statement on it to wish them well. I pray that tomorrow we'll find space to deal with
Very important.
that very important thing, because it's their first major external exams they are taking. And Honorable Dapa has anxiously been waiting to make his statement. I know tomorrow he would also have a bite. So Honorable Dapa, tomorrow be here. It will be your day. Mr. Speaker, at this time, at this point, whatever the majorities I want to do, they can do. Whatever. If they say 24-hour economy, if they no more want to pursue that part, there's no urgent government business. they don't have other paper addendum to generate. And the majority leader is tired. If the majority leader is tired and he wants to assign his deputies to move the House for an adjournment, so be it. So be it.
Mr. Speaker, we could not take question number 92. That is a question meant for the Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, because the Minister was not available. So I just want to apologize to the honorable member who has been here the whole day, hoping that the Minister will come for him to ask the question. So with your indulgence, we'll reschedule that question. We'll find out if the Minister is in town. We'll reschedule the question, but I just want to apologize to the honorable member for the unavailability of the Minister to answer the question. So, Speaker, I've been dealing very gently with the Osahin. So, Mr. Speaker, we're in your hands.
Very well. There's no, we've gone beyond 5 hours.
Mr. Speaker, he didn't even allow me to move it. You didn't allow me.
You are in my hands now.
The women are here with you, and you won't allow the women to do the talking.
Honorable members,
Mr. Speaker, we are in your hands,
yes,
because it's over 5 hours.
You
so
spent
we are
6
in your hands.
hours.
It's over 5 hours.
Honorable members,
okay, I move that
I
we
thank you so much for your cooperation.
Because
you bring proceedings to an end. The House is accordingly adjourned to tomorrow 2 o'clock afternoon. Tomorrow 2 o'clock afternoon. In other words, 14 hours Greenwich Mean Time. The House stands adjourned.